What's up, everybody? Trix Ridiculous back with another video, and I wanted to just release one kind of final video on this whole Crystal Dynamics Embracer purchase. I'm not going to release anything further on this unless we get substantial news of any changes between the studios and their ownership. But I wanted to just bring this up because I'm seeing a lot of people in the community kind of quoting this article here, and really the fact that Avengers quote unquote made a profit for Crystal Dynamics. And this video is in no way meant to be, negative or, overly hateful, towards CD, because it's not. We still don't know what is actually going to happen with this game. I still stand by what I said in my previous video that they're still kind of working out all the kinks, right? They don't know. They're not going to say anything right now. The deal hasn't even been finalized yet. So no one from Embracer is going to really say anything that's going to break the deal or really change things. And then likewise, any developers on Crystal Dynamics end, they have no idea, right? They don't actually know. They're not being kept in the loop on the things. And if anything, if they're being told anything, it's just to continue business as usual. So what do we have here? So this is an article that basically is saying that Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal will break even until new games released, Embracer says. So that's really what it is. And what a lot of Avengers players are getting caught up with here is that Marvel's Avengers, or I should say Crystal Dynamics, where is it here? Here we go. Crystal Dynamics has brought in an operating revenue over the past 3 years of about $10 million, all right? As opposed to, they basically made $240 million, this is in Canadian dollars. They made $240 million in revenue, but only recorded about $10 million in operating income. So, I mean, without getting into the nitty gritty about that, it's basically, the cost to run the studio is very high. There are probably a lot of development costs of maintaining certain, games that they're currently working on, but also development of new games, right? There's a lot of moving pieces to this. So I wouldn't take this too drastically. People are really clinging to this, saying Avengers has made a profit, confirmed to have made a profit, and that's not wrong. Anything above $0 is technically a profit, yes, but that's not the point of this article, right? The point of this article is that Embracer has said that they understand that they're not really going to be making money until new games come out. So basically, Eidos and Crystal Dynamics will basically be sitting around break even, okay, for the next 2 years. So what does that mean? Well, it basically means, and I think they had another article here, or another piece here that kind of says that here we go. This will remain the case until their product pipeline matures in years thereafter. Basically, in layman's terms, when Crystal Dynamics and Eidos start to release new games. So it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anyone else in the Avengers community thinks in regards to what is a profit and what is not a profit for Avengers and for Crystal Dynamics. What matters is what Embracer thinks. And while, you can say, yes, Marvel's Avengers did make a very small profit, the point is that worth it for Embracer to continue investing resources into this game, right? And based on what they're saying here, it sounds like no. Right? And again, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know what the actual source is. I don't have we're seeing this quote here. I don't know where this quote came from Embracer. And again, we still don't know where all the pieces will fall. But the purpose of this article and what I'm reading into this article is that Embracer is looking at the financials of what Crystal Dynamics is pulling in today. And yes, it is technically above zero, but they realize, and they're coming out publicly and saying, listen, it's basically break even. It's so low that it's basically just breaking even. We understand that we're not going to be making money on our investment based on what's currently in place. We are publicly stating that they're only going to realize a return on their investment on new titles, on what's coming down in the pipeline from Crystal Dynamics. So that could mean a number of things for Avengers, but it's definitely not a good thing, right? If anything, it basically says that Embracer is going to be more invested in new titles and less invested in current titles, right? That's in the most basic black and white is what this article is saying. Now, does that mean Avengers is dead? No, of course not, right? I mean, it could still hobble along, right? It could still do the same thing it's been doing. It might get more support. It might get less support. Like I said, I think if the game goes free to play, it'll get more support. I know I kind of plug that in every video. But that's basically it. And I didn't want people to get like some false assumptions from reading this article, because this article is not very friendly towards Marvel's Avengers in the most basic sense. And, even though they did technically make money, it's minuscule, right? And I mean, this is not me talking. I don't think that amount of money is minuscule, but Embracer thinks that amount of money is minuscule, and they don't think that is the amount of money that is going to turn around their investment, right? And kind of the whole purpose of this article was showing why the amount was so cheap, right? Because the sale was for $300 million. A lot of people, when it happened, were like, "Wow, that's really cheap," and this is why. It's because they're not making money, right? So they really just bought. They didn't buy them for the cash cow that they currently are. They bought them for future products. The product pipeline that will mature years to come. So it's a longer term investment. But like I said, I just wanted to put that out there. I just don't think that this is an overly glowing review for Avengers. If anything, it's the opposite. But again, take it all with a grain of salt, because we still don't know where all the pieces will fall. I still think Avengers will be fine and will still hobble along. I don't think the Marvel license, with Disney and Marvel games or whatever, I don't think that's really a major factor. I know that was kind of the big talking point, a week ago with this. I don't think that's really the big deal. I think it's really more about Embracer determining if Avengers is worth the money. And just because they made some profit doesn't necessarily guarantee that. And based on what they're saying here, it would not bode well for Avengers in that sense. But we'll see what happens. That's all I have in this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the Discord. All those links in the description. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one.